How does someone like me, who feels more at home behind the scenes, get in front of the camera? Well, it boils down to two things. One, I had to get through some mental blocks I have as an introvert, and two, I have to get over myself. The end. That's it. That's the video. Get over yourself. Bye. Actually, just kidding. I wish it was that easy though. Hello everyone, I'm Elle and I'm an introvert. Unfortunately, I can't really tell you how to get over yourself if you're feeling uncertain or insecure about starting a YouTube as an introvert. But I can at least talk about some of the mental blocks I had to get over that I don't see other introverts talk about enough. Starting from what might be the most obvious to the least. Number one, it's okay to say a lot. It's one thing to know that you're not the most confident public or even personal speaker out there, but wow, you do not know how many times you say until you get to video editing, or even how many times you pause in the middle of a sentence because you forgot what you were going to say. That being said, the beauty of pre-recording is that you have the absolute power to cut out all the awkward pauses and grammatical errors you do. I mean, think about it. Maybe not at night before you go to sleep, but all those embarrassing moments you wish you could take back? Or those clumsy moments that you trip on totally flat ground and everyone totally saw? Well, this is your moment. Well, not literally, but later when you get to the video editing part. You can make it appear as if your mistakes never even happened and you never took those embarrassing photos. If that's not absolute power, then I don't know what is. Now, if only that works out in real life. While we're on the topic of things you didn't know about yourself until you do your own video editing. Number two, your face is weird. There's just no way around it. Your face is weird, okay? I don't say this to be mean or to make you self-conscious, I swear. In truth, everyone's face is weird. But one, we don't really see that until you're staring at your face or someone else's as they talk to the camera. Then two, having to continuously play, pause, play as you try to find the exact moment where you need to make your cut. I found out that when I talk, one side of my face moves more than the other, or at least first. I don't even know how to express how much that threw me for a loop the first time I shot and edited my videos. I noticed that on my very first video, so on the ones I shot after that, I tried to see if I could just not do it, but I can't even notice when I do it, so it's moot point. It wasn't even until recently that I saw a YouTuber I follow talk about the exact same thing on one of her older videos. The thing is, I didn't even notice she did that until she mentioned it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Anyway, whether it's a micro expression, a facial tic, or just some weird quirk some people have, just accept that it's been there all along and it's gonna be there to stay. So find your way to move on with that, because we are moving on to number three. It's stupid, if you think about it. Okay, maybe that was a little harsh, so let me rephrase that. Number three, recording yourself feels silly because it is. Look at me. I'm all by myself, staring into a camera lens, talking into a microphone that's covered in something that's sometimes referred to as a dead cat. It's ridiculous. Also, I probably shouldn't have done that. Now I have to put it back where you can't see it on camera. That was my bad. But in the same way, most or everything we do is ridiculous. I mean, in a nicer world, we could have been living in cottages by the coast, trading homemade clothes with our neighbors' homemade butter and jam. Instead, we created standardized tests and taxes. That is insane, and yet here we are. There are a lot of other ways we could be living and other jobs that we could be doing, although if you're qualified for that or not is a totally different conversation. All of those other options are going to have their own ridiculous quirks that is going to make sense to the right people and will be a completely alien concept to some. The point is, sitting down to record yourself isn't really that much more ridiculous than being directed and recorded by someone else in a green room full of other people. That helped me get over myself. Maybe it'll help you too. Speaking of being recorded and directed by someone else, number four, there's no time limit. This might sound like a comfort before you start, but there is no one other than you who's going to decide when to start and when to end. The first video I posted clocks in at about 9 minutes 8 seconds, but the raw footage for that was about 1 hour 8 minutes long, and that's because I recorded the damn thing twice. Technically 1 hour and 41 minutes long if you include my first attempt. So I sit corrected, I recorded that thing 3 times. That very first video hasn't even seen the light of day. Maybe if we get to 1,000 subscribers, then we'll talk. Why the heck did I do this? Because I'm cursed with perfectionist tendencies for one. But mainly, I didn't feel confident about the first 2 attempts, so I kept redoing it. And no one was there to stop me and tell me my first 2 attempts were good enough. They really weren't, but that's beside the point. Let's take a class setting, for example. Let's say I'm in a public speaking class. If I suck at it so bad, maybe the professor will take pity on me and tell me to stop. That or I'll hit the time limit. I am definitely not getting a good grade, but I am getting a reprieve. I can slink back to my seat in shame, but the pain is over. In a work setting, the director is there to yell cut and tell you what went wrong and how you can do it better. Starting a YouTube on your own as an introvert, you don't get any of that. Everything is totally up to you, and that is both empowering and terrifying all at once. Now, for the least obvious, number 5, live is easier than pre-recording. Okay, maybe this doesn't apply to everyone, but it certainly hit me like a ton of bricks. Sitting in my stomach for about an hour, psyching myself in and out before I finally hit that record button, which was utterly irrational because by the time I had tried to do YouTube, I already had about 9 months experience live streaming on Twitch. Did I just release it into the park? Feels a little bit cleaner. I hate when they teleport. Search the back wall. Oh, no. I don't know why, but I just felt so weird and embarrassed that I didn't stop nervous sweating for the entire time I was recording, and I didn't stop until I hit stop recording. I later realized that personally it was a lot easier for me if I couldn't overthink and second guess myself. I had a schedule while I was on Twitch, and since I knew that my overseas friends specifically woke up to watch my stream, I hit start streaming and start recording on OBS whether I was ready or not. It was also impossible for me to read a script while playing video games, so I had no other option but to just wing it. And there is a part of me that does better specifically when I wing it instead of memorizing a script. Now, when I say better, I mean I sound closer to my natural way and speed of talking. Me winging it is absolutely not thorough. I forget to mention so many things. Now, I have a script because it's a lot more efficient, not to mention consistent that way. I'm hoping with experience, I would eventually be a lot less stiff than I feel I look like. I don't know when that would be or what that would look like, but at least this video is another tiny step towards that goal. If you're a fellow introvert who's been thinking about doing YouTube or even Twitch, I hope this video is a good heads up in some of the mental blocks you might have to face. I know there's a lot more that I didn't talk about, like insecurities about our appearance or the toll that social media can have on our mental health. But that's because I think those are struggles that I think not just introverts face, and so it deserves its own video at a later time when I feel like I can articulate better and do it justice. If you're more interested in a storytime version of why I started YouTube despite being an introvert, hit that subscribe button so you can watch it as soon as it goes live a week after this video. Otherwise, you can check out my new videos every Thursday at 2 p.m. PST. The end. That's it. That's the video. For real this time. Bye! Starting from what? Maybe when you get to the video. Cursed with perfectionists. That record. The end. That's it.